Hey, I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like.
Podcast below in the description. Go check it out.
We did a video a while ago about Trey Sermon and whether or not the odds on him were good value to win the Rookie of the Year. I think they are. But this about quarterbacks, John. I'm throwing up the odds from mybookie.ag, promo code HAM1, by the way, for offensive Rookie of the Year odds. At quarterback, Trevor Lawrence 2-1, Trey Lance 5-1, Justin Fields 5.5-1, Zach Wilson 7.5-1, Davis Mills 16-1, Kyle Trask 40-1, Kellen Mond 50-1. Now, we can get into like value, but what we want to try and do is predict the quarterback who's going to have the best chance to win this award. Doesn't necessarily have to line up with the odds, and whether or not it's Trey Lance. My first gut, before we flesh it out, is actually Fields. Although I did say around the draft that I thought whoever Kyle drafted would have a great chance to win the Rookie of the Year, the best chance to win the Rookie of the Year, Shanahan. But Garoppolo's still here. So there is a little bit of a factor there that, you know, we think might be easier for Justin Fields to overcome than Trey Lance to overcome. But you could argue Andy Dalton.
To me, that's the question. I don't know how many games Trey Lance. If you told me Trey Lance was starter week 1 and going to get a crack at 17 games, I think if for those odds would be a no-brainer.
But even without the odds, on that like to me, even without the odds, if you told me he's the week 3 starter, I'd go, I know what Herbert did with less than a full year.
Well, if I told you Lawrence is 2-1, if Trey Lance, let's just say, is announced, let's just say Kyle Shanahan tweeted from the Niners account, update, Trey Lance will be our week 1 starter tomorrow. What would those odds jump to? Would they be head-to-head with Lawrence, or would they be better? Would they be 1-1?
They would be better, yeah.
So his biggest obstacle, really, like the only reason his odds are so great, is Jimmy. Now, you could argue pretty good value because Jimmy can go down at any moment. Jimmy got hurt. It was by like week 2 Jimmy was limping around last year, right? I mean, Jimmy is not he ain't Eli Manning or Brett Favre, right? He ain't going to be Joe Thomas not missing a snap for a long time. He's the opposite. So you could argue that value alone, just betting on Jimmy's uncertainty, pretty good, right? You just alone. Like Jimmy's been a Niner quarterback for 4 seasons, and he's got hurt in 3 of them. Excuse me. I guess he's been hurt in 2 out of the 3 of them. The first full time seasons. He got here, he wasn't here long enough. Yeah, his 3 full seasons, he's missed games in 2 out of the 3 of them. 70% remembers the stat.
Now I won't.
And Trevor Lawrence, I think the question mark is like, are they going to be any good?
Well, but no. Are they going to be worse than the Bengals were last year? Joe Burrow was 2-7, and now he wouldn't. You know, he was 13 touchdowns, 5 picks. I'm looking at it right now, 65%. Like at the time. Obviously, Herbert was rolling. Part of Herbert was he just kept doing it the whole year. Herbert, by that time of the year, whatever it was, week 10 that Burrow got hurt, Herbert was already just a rocket ship.
Herbert was going to win it. Yeah,
but Burrow was having a really good year, I think, on a terrible team that he was going to be in the conversation if at the end of the year it would be hard. You'd go, well, Herbert's going to win it, but if we're going to have a conversation, you have to include Burrow.
You do not need to win to get the Rookie of the Year because 2 years ago, Kyler Murray won it, remember, and they ended up drafting Isaiah Simmons 7th. So they had a top 10 draft pick. You can, as a quarterback.
Justin Jefferson? I mean, he was you know.
They went 7 and 9.
He was a legitimate candidate. Yeah. But, I mean, part of this is, look, again, forget about the odds of this group, who's most likely. I mean, the challenge, Zach Wilson's in a tough defensive division. Are you kidding me?
I wouldn't mess with
Bill,
I wouldn't mess with him.
Flores, and McDermott? No, thank you.
I wouldn't mess with him. I actually think, and I'm not a huge fan of this guy, but I've been wrong before. What if he actually is a solid quarterback and he gets to start early on and their team's good? They spent a bunch of money. They have arguably the greatest coach ever, max 8-1. Unlike Trey Lance, you could convince me he doesn't get a true start all season. And if you told me that, I'd be like, I bet the Niners season's going pretty well. That's possible. That is believable. You cannot convince me Mac doesn't minimum get 10. Like, he's going to play, and they're going to be trying to win. What if he puts up 25 touchdowns and they go 10-7? Wouldn't Mac Jones get some credit?
Yeah,
if they went 10-7.
God, I'm so glad you said that because I skipped over him when I went through the list the first time. So yes,
what's he 8-1?
He's 8-1. Yeah, correct. So which is still Wilson, Fields, Lance, and Lawrence with shorter odds. But
If Fields were to win it, to me, he'd have written all over it. Whenever Andy got benched, it would probably be early. A little Herbert-y just came in and was like Lamar. Remember when Lamar came in for Flacco? I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
He would just pop, and it would just be like, he would need probably at minimum, I'd say 8-9 games, and he could just go on a run where revitalize a franchise. But I don't think you can win it anything less than 8 starts, right? As a quarterback, I think that would be very difficult because you can't just like name the starter December in a bad team, throwing up some weak stats. No one would care.
And even if you're better than some other guys, a guy that played 12 games it's just going to have more touchdowns than you. Might not, but
yeah,
the number, even the raw numbers. So, okay, forget about odds, not value. Which one of these guys is most likely if a quarterback is going to be the offensive rookie of the year? I'm inclined to go with what I said at the draft. Before the draft, whoever Kyle Shanahan drafts has the best chance to be the offensive rookie of the year among the quarterbacks. So I'll stick with that, given I think what pushes me over the edge there from my gut reaction, which was Fields, is the injury history for Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think Lance, just as a good, potential ROI, pretty high up there. I also think I don't like Mac Jones, the player, so I wouldn't do that. But if you did like Mac Jones, the player, that one's pretty interesting. And to me, the Justin Fields one is just probably the riskiest because I could see him coming in and a lot of hype and not living up to it, and the Bears just not being good, and it could go the other way. Not that would, just have a bad rookie season. Because a couple of these guys are going to have bad rookie seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, it could be Lawrence. It could be Wilson.
One or two of them might not have a rookie season.
Yeah.
Trey Lance might not have a rookie year.
To me, he's the only lock to me to not play that much. Like Justin Fields is playing.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think he could look like Herbert. He could.
Fields.
Yeah. And if he does, people will go, yeah, of course. Duh.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe that's your pick.